Let's talk to Tim Harrison. He is the Head of Wealth Management at Linear Investments. Very good morning to you, young Tim.
Good morning.
Right, sitting in the fast lane that you do. Busy week?
It's been an interesting week, to be very honest with you. You've seen the markets are really trying to gauge whether or not they want to drive higher, whether or not the economic data is strong enough, good enough to justify putting money to work, or whether or not there is a reason, a rationale to pull back. Now, obviously, in the UK, we raised rates yesterday,
yep.
Which in theory is a sign that the economy is strong enough. They're conscious of inflation getting out of hand, etc. However, there have been a lot of pundits post that actual event suggesting that it's the wrong thing to have done. I personally have a very different opinion to what's going on out there, but that's by the by. So in terms of the markets, it's been an interesting week, as I say. That you've looked as though the FTSE wanted to break into to new highs. Middle part of the week, it has pulled back towards the back end of the week. But again, into next week, there's going to be a lot of opportunity. Companies reporting and economic data from the US, which may be the driver to see us pull back or push forward.
So a couple of headlines I've seen this week. Tesla.
Yeah, I mean their numbers again. They're burning through cash like Billio, but the shares jumped on the back of them potentially being break even, whatever they want to call it, by year end. So they're interesting set of figures. I think more importantly, the numbers to have looked at and to look forward to is Apple breaking the $1 trillion valuation
And that's
mark.
the first for a
That's
market
the first,
cap, right?
In terms of a listed company, yes. Now, there is argument to suggest that many years ago, ExxonMobil and some of the other unlisted companies potentially were worth that in real terms. It's by the by. Apple have done outstandingly well. They are suggesting that Q3 is going to be their strongest quarter on the basis of their iPhone sales and the high-end iPhone sales. So I think they closed around about $207 for those that bought when they were a penny share back in the early 2000s. They must be laughing all the way to the bank.
Wow. And in terms of the UK, next week, anything particularly you're looking forward to seeing?
I mean, there's nothing really to get too excited about. I think what we have seen in the US has been the earnings really start to quieten down. You've seen all the bellwethers, the big names. Over here, we have seen warnings from the likes of Countrywide in the property market space, wanting to or raising money. There seems to have been appetite behind that. Next week you've got a couple of financials reporting, Glencore report as well. So there's a few companies to look out for, but in terms of anything to really drive the market, I think we've already seen the earnings plays pan out.
I think it was something like 13% of the FTSE 100 companies were reporting in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty much a non-event on the upside. There haven't been many upside surprises. There have been a couple of wounders, as I say. Countrywide coming out with their rights issue at a massive discount, is a bit of a shock, a bit of a wounder for many. But I personally am of the view that if we can negotiate through the next couple of months, then the waters should start to clear as we get closer to Brexit Day.
On that note, Tim, thank you very much indeed.